You ever feel your whole life shift in one breath? Like one knock at a door could unlock every truth you've buried, or every lie someone else has dressed as love. My name's Tyler. I'm 26. I live just outside Vancouver, and this is the story I've never told anyone. Call it, I just went to my neighbor's house. He said, sit down. I have a surprise for you. It started on a Tuesday, rain tapping the windows like a warning. I remember the sky being that dull blue-gray that makes everything feel unfinished. I was working from home, creative director at a mid-sized ad agency. Deadlines, pitches, too many coffees, not enough sleep. The usual. But my mind wasn't on my work. It was on her, Maya. We'd met at the agency 2 years ago. She was the new copywriter. Brilliant, sharp, beautiful in a way that wasn't loud, just steady. You felt her in a room like gravity. She had a laugh that didn't match her eyes. Her laugh said joy. Her eyes, they said something else. Like she'd been broken once, quietly. We fell hard. But secretly, HR rules. Office politics. Her complicated family. My dying father. Nobody knew. Not my coworkers. Not even my neighbor, Ray. Ray lived right next door. Ex-military. Soft-spoken. Kind of guy who grilled steak with one hand and fixed your sink with the other. Always wore this faded green cap, like it anchored him to something. I'd been helping Ray with errands ever since his wife passed. Groceries. Docs. A quick run to the pharmacy. He called me kid. Said I reminded him of someone. Never said who. Anyway, back to that Tuesday. Around 3 p.m., I got a text from Maya. Need to talk. Meet me on the rooftop after 6. The rooftop. Our safe place. No eyes. No noise. Just us and the skyline. I told her yes. Heart pounding. Something about her tone was off. At 5:55, I grabbed my coat. I didn't make it to the door. Ray knocked. I opened it, surprised. He never visited me at that hour. He looked pale. Paler than usual. And he had this look, like he was holding back a scream wrapped in silence. Tyler, he said, come over. Sit down. I have a surprise for you. I followed him next door. Something heavy hung in the air, thicker than the scent of his old wooden floorboards. I stepped inside. He gestured toward the living room couch, the same one I'd helped him move in 3 months ago. I wasn't sure if I should show you this, he said slowly, but I figured better it come from someone who gives a damn. He disappeared into the back room. I stared at the faded family photos on the wall. One of them, a black and white of a younger Ray and a woman, had always caught my eye. She looked eerily like someone I knew, but I'd never thought much of it. He came back holding a small wooden box. Dusty. Locked. I've had this for a while, he said. Didn't know what was in it until this morning. He clicked it open. Inside letters. Dozens of them. Stacked. Yellowed edges. Some sealed, some not. The top one had a name written in cursive. Maya Prescott. My stomach twisted. You recognize the name? He asked gently. I nodded. She's I know who she is, he interrupted. I think it's time you know who she really is. He handed me the letter. I hesitated. My hands were shaking. I opened it. It wasn't from Maya. It was to Maya. From someone named Samantha Prescott. The date? June 2004. The contents? That's when my breath caught. You were right to leave, but I didn't want you to grow up thinking I never loved you. I stayed behind to protect you from him. From Ray. He wasn't just your stepfather, Maya. He was your mother's biggest mistake. I froze. Ray, I whispered. What the hell is this? He looked away, then said, she's my daughter, Tyler. My blood. My heart stopped. She doesn't know. I didn't raise her. I lost that right long ago. Everything blurred. But why show me this now? I asked, voice cracking. Because she's not who she says she is, he said. And then, softly, she was never meant to be with you. My phone buzzed. It was Maya. I'm waiting on the rooftop. Ray stood, walked to the window, then said the one thing I never expected. She didn't fall for you by accident. It was part of something bigger. Something I should have stopped a long time ago. I left Ray's house without a word, rain hammering my jacket, letter still trembling in my pocket. When I reached the rooftop, Maya was standing there, soaked, her eyes wide. "I was starting to think you wouldn't come," she said, almost smiling. I stepped closer, heart thudding like a war drum. I asked, "Maya, who are you really?" She didn't flinch, didn't ask, "What are you talking about?" or even pretend to be confused. Instead, Maya looked at me with this hollow kind of tenderness, like she'd been carrying a secret so long that finally letting it go might kill her. "I was hoping Ray wouldn't say anything," she said quietly, "but I guess he's still trying to make up for everything he broke." I stared at her, rainwater streaming down her face, mascara bleeding at the edges, but she didn't wipe it away. "Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered. "That he's your father?" Her eyes closed for a second. "Because I don't owe him anything," she said. "And I didn't want you to see me the way he sees me, like some broken thread in his legacy he's too late to sew back together." My chest tightened. "So it was true. The letters?" "Yes," she said. "My mom left them for me in a safety box before she died. I read them when I was 16. That's when I found out about Ray and what he did to her." My pulse was deafening. "What did he do?" She looked away, as if answering would burn her. "He wasn't violent," she said. "Not physically, but he controlled her, gaslit her, threatened to take me if she ever tried to leave. She finally escaped with me when I was 5, changed our names, disappeared." Her voice dropped lower. "She always said, 'Maya, if you ever see that man again, run.'" I stepped back. "So why didn't you?" That's when she hesitated, and then said it, "Because I knew who you were before you ever said your name." The rooftop suddenly felt like it tilted sideways. "What are you talking about?" I asked, voice dry. She took a step toward me. "Your last name, Carson." I nodded slowly. "I looked you up after our first pitch meeting at the agency," she continued. "I'd seen your face somewhere before, online years ago. Then I found out who your mom was, where you lived, who your neighbor was." I couldn't speak. I couldn't think. Maya kept going. "I didn't plan on falling for you, Tyler. I just wanted to see if you were like him, right? If you had that same coldness in your eyes, that same grip on people." Her voice cracked. "But you weren't. You were the opposite of him. You listened. You saw me. You never asked me to shrink." My chest caved. "So what was I then?" I asked. "Some emotional experiment? A way to work through your trauma?" "No," she said fiercely. "You were the only real thing that happened to me in years." We stood there, breathing rain, our silence louder than any scream. I sat down on the rooftop bench. My hands were soaked. I didn't care. "I thought we were building something," I said, barely above a whisper. "Even if it was messy, even if it wasn't perfect." Maya knelt in front of me. "We were," she said, "but I didn't think I deserved it. Not after what I did." My heart paused. "What do you mean?" She reached into her coat pocket, pulled out a small flash drive. "What's that?" She hesitated. "It's the presentation I leaked." My mouth fell open. "You, the agency leak? You were the one who?" "Yes," she said. "I was the whistleblower." I stood, backing away. "Our biggest client dropped us because of that, Maya. Half the office got laid off. You got promoted after that." "I didn't mean for it to go that far," she said. "I just wanted to expose the fake campaign numbers. I didn't know they'd trace it to someone else. Someone innocent." "Jacob," I muttered. "They fired Jacob. He almost lost his home." "I tried to stop it," she said, voice shaking. "I begged HR not to let it go public. But once it left my hands, it was over." My mind was spiraling. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because I'm leaving," she said. "For real. For good." I blinked. "What?" She handed me the flash drive. "There's enough on there to clear Jacob. To prove I did it. They'll have to reinstate him." My thoughts were a tornado. "You're turning yourself in?" She nodded, then whispered, And I wanted you to know everything. Before I disappear, we stood there in the middle of the rooftop, one heartbeat away from something irreversible. I looked at her, the woman I loved, the woman who lied, the woman who saved someone and burned someone else to do it. My voice trembled. So why tell me all this? If you're just going to run? She looked up at me, eyes full of ashen light. Because I still believe in us, but I don't want you to believe in a version of me that doesn't exist. She stepped closer. And if you can ever forgive me, maybe someday, when all the damage is done healing, you'll find me. Suddenly, a door slammed below. A voice shouted Maya's name. We both turned. Ray, I'm not letting you run again, he yelled from the stairwell. Maya grabbed my hand. Tyler, please. I have to go. Right now. She looked into my eyes one last time. Do you believe me? And just as I opened my mouth, Ray reached the rooftop, and what he said next shattered everything I thought I knew. Ray's voice cracked like thunder through the rain. She's lying to you, Tyler. Maya froze beside me. I could feel her pulse through her hand. Fast, desperate. Ray stepped forward, soaked, trembling, but not with cold, with something darker, fury, regret. She's not just my daughter, he said. She's been working with his family, with your father's company. This whole thing, he motioned to the rooftop, to me, to us, was part of a goddamn setup. I turned to Maya, heart thudding. What's he talking about? She swallowed. Her voice broke. There was a deal, she admitted. A long time ago, before I met you. Ray's eyes narrowed. Tell him. She let go of my hand. Slowly, like it hurt her fingers to separate. When I was in college, she said, I needed money. My mom had died. I found out who Ray was. And then I found your father's name on an old legal file. Something about an investment gone wrong. Your dad and Ray had once worked together and hated each other. It got dirty. Real dirty. Ray clenched his jaw. Your father stole half my pension after the army. Hid it in shell accounts. He's the reason I couldn't give Maya or her mother anything. I felt dizzy. Maya's eyes flicked up to mine. So when your dad died, his lawyers were still fighting settlements. His company was vulnerable. I was approached by someone. They wanted me to get close to you, to learn things, leverage. The words stabbed. You were sent to me? No, she said, tears mixing with rain. Not like that. First, yes. But the moment I actually knew you, it all changed. I stepped back. My soul was cracking. So this whole time, every word you said, every kiss, every touch, it was what? Calculated. No, she whispered, broken. It started as survival, but then it became something I never expected, something real, and I didn't know how to stop the lie without losing you. I looked at Ray. You knew all this? He nodded, slowly. I tried to warn you, Tyler, but I waited too long. I didn't want to believe she'd become like him. Like me. He looked at her now, softer. She's not a villain, son. She never had a guide. Maya stepped forward, voice trembling. I never told them anything about you, Tyler. I swear. I protected you. And when I leaked that campaign file, it wasn't just about the company. It was about breaking ties with them. With all of them. She held up the flash drive. This is proof. I burned the bridge. I'm done. Silence. The rain slowed, turned to mist. I stood there, in the center of a storm I didn't see coming. Betrayed by blood, bound by love, torn by a choice that had no right answer. Ray backed away slowly. I'll leave you two to figure this out, he said, and disappeared down the stairwell. I looked at her, the woman I loved, the woman who shattered me, the woman who saved me. Maya stepped closer. You can turn this in, she said, holding out the flash drive again. Clear Jacob's name, end my career. Or what? I asked, voice hollow. Or you walk away. Keep this just between us. Let me disappear, and you never see me again. No one has to know. I looked at her. The ache in my chest was too big to cry through, too wide to yell through. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said honestly. She nodded. I'm not asking you to, but I also don't know if I can forget you. Her eyes glistened. I hope you never do. She stepped forward, kissed my cheek, so gently it almost didn't happen, and turned. She walked away, down the stairs, into the fog. She never looked back. Jacob was reinstated. No one ever found out how. Maya's name was never mentioned again in the office. Ray moved out of the neighborhood, left no forwarding address. I got promoted, but the title felt empty. I still keep the flash drive. Sits in my drawer, unplugged and used. Sometimes I wonder where she is, if she's still looking over her shoulder, if she still thinks of me when it rains. And sometimes, late at night, I replay her final words. I hope you never forget me. I haven't. Some people come into your life like fire. They burn things down, but sometimes they burn away the lies too. Maya broke me, and in some ways she freed me. Not every love story ends with holding hands. Sometimes the deepest love is letting someone walk away so they can save themselves. And maybe so you can finally save yourself too. Tyler.